It feels like the entire region is on fire, and honestly, it's a fire that Washington and Tel Aviv poured the gasoline on themselves. We are witnessing a historic, humiliating dismantling of the American military's credibility in real time. What we're looking at isn't just another skirmish in the endless war machine. This is the moment the so-called superpower was exposed as a paper tiger, unable to protect its own multi-billion-dollar assets on foreign soil.
The U.S. base in Saudi Arabia has come under attack by incoming ballistic missiles.
Dramatic footage circulating online appears to show the moment an Iranian ballistic missile slammed into Prince Sultan Air Base in Al Harj, Saudi Arabia.
I want to take you deep inside the footage that's been circulating on X, the kind of raw, terrifying visuals that official statements try to spin but can't erase. We're talking about the strike on Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. Specifically, the video that shows a missile behaving in a way that defies the laws of physics as we know them. It didn't just streak in, it hovered. It lingered in the air, almost like it was surveying the target, the full force of a guillotine on the American forces below. That wasn't just a rocket. That was a message from Iran's military engineers, a display of technological prowess that has the Pentagon scrambling for answers. And the silence from the mainstream media? Deafening. They don't want you to see the complete collapse of the Patriot systems, the THAAD batteries that were supposedly combat-proven. They don't want you to ask how a nation that has been under sanctions for decades is outsmarting the largest military-industrial complex in history. And let's be brutally clear about the human cost, because the Pentagon is playing their usual game of smoke and mirrors. While official statements mumble about a handful of casualties, Iranian sources, combined with whistleblowers within Western intelligence circles, are painting a picture of absolute carnage. We are looking at over 1,000 American military personnel confirmed dead or severely wounded across the multiple theaters of this retaliation. The IRGC released specific figures, stating that up to 650 soldiers were killed or wounded in the first 2 days alone, with the headquarters of the 5th Fleet in Bahrain being hit repeatedly, resulting in mass casualties. Think about that. The 5th Fleet, the nerve center of U.S. naval power in the region, was successfully targeted. These aren't just numbers. These are families destroyed because of the reckless adventurism of Benjamin Netanyahu and the feckless, easily manipulated Donald Trump. We saw the faces of 4 of the dead released: Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant First Class Nicole Amor, a mother of 2 who was just days from coming home, Sergeant First Class Noah Teachins, and Specialist Declan Cody. Nicole Amor's husband told the press she was moved to a shipping container without defenses because they were scattering in fear of an attack. The fear was justified. The defenses were useless. And now those families are paying the price for Netanyahu's ambition. Before we go further, if you are tired of the sanitized pro-war propaganda that fills your television screens, if you want the truth about American decline and Iranian ascendancy, please hit that like button, share this video far and wide, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. We are one of the few outlets left doing real, honest journalism that doesn't bow to the Washington consensus. We need your support to keep bringing you these facts. Now stick with me, because we are about to dismantle the narrative piece by piece. We're going to connect the dots between the devastating hit on that Saudi base, the complete eradication of a Patriot system in the UAE, and the quiet, panicked meetings happening in the White House, where Donald Trump, the man who promised America first, is now begging for a ceasefire while pretending to wage war. The situation on the ground has shifted so dramatically that the old rules of engagement no longer apply. We're not just talking about isolated incidents. We're talking about a coordinated, brilliant campaign by Tehran to degrade the offensive capabilities of the United States military to the point of irrelevance. Let's zoom in on that viral video, because the details are crucial for understanding the scale of this disaster. Military analysts and amateur sleuths on X have been dissecting the footage from the strike on the CIA forward operating airbase in Saudi Arabia, and the consensus is terrifying for the U.S. The missile in question exhibited what experts call loitering capabilities. This isn't a simple ballistic trajectory where you can calculate the impact point and pray an interceptor meets it. This weapon, believed to be a variant of Iran's hypersonic arsenal, hung in the sky. It paused. Witnesses described a tense, surreal silence as the projectile seemed to wait, perhaps for final targeting coordinates, or to let the air defense systems burn through their interceptor inventory in a panic. Then, it accelerated at a speed that simply bypassed the kinetic energy limits of the Patriot missiles trying to chase it. The impact was absolute. The base, a hub for CIA air operations, was shattered. The Iranians didn't just get lucky. They systematically dismantled the U.S. air defense network across the Gulf. Let's talk about the United Arab Emirates, a nation that thought it could host American forces as a shield against regional turmoil. That delusion was incinerated when Iran turned its attention to Al Dhafra Air Base. This isn't some small outpost. Al Dhafra is a fortress. It houses the F-35A Lightning II fighter jets, the very symbol of American air dominance, along with KC-10 extender refueling tankers and a host of surveillance aircraft. It is ringed with the most advanced air defense architecture money can buy, specifically the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System, or THAAD. According to Iranian news sources and confirmed by regional military leaks, the IRGC didn't just launch a barrage and hope for the best. They executed a methodical surgical dismantling of the base's defenses. First, they took out the eyes and ears. A dedicated strike neutralized the AN/FPS-132 radar network, the sophisticated system designed to spot incoming threats from thousands of kilometers away. Once the radar was fried, the THAAD battery was blind. It was like cutting the optic nerve of a giant. With the defenses neutralized, the follow-up missiles swept in and razed significant portions of the base. The UAE allowed itself to be a launching pad for American imperialism, and in return, they got a front-row seat to the incineration of their sovereign territory. They invited trouble, and trouble arrived in the form of Iranian precision. And this is where the comedy, the tragic, bloody comedy of Marco Rubio enters the chat. Just days ago, Rubio was on Capitol Hill telling reporters that the hardest military strikes are yet to come. He spoke about destroying Iran's ballistic missile capabilities and ensuring the regime can never obtain a nuclear weapon. He is dreaming. Senator Adam Schiff gave a perfect analysis of the entire situation.
So we're at war with Iran. The question is, why?
The regime already had missiles capable of hitting Europe and our bases, both local and overseas, and would soon have had missiles capable of reaching our beautiful America.
So according to the president, we are at war with Iran because they have missiles that could soon hit the United States. Here's Marco Rubio on the same subject.
And clearly they are headed in the pathway to one day being able to develop weapons that could reach the continental U.S.
Okay, so that's what Rubio says, one day. So when is that day going to come? Well, according to a 2025 Defense Intelligence Agency report, that's a U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency report, Iran will have the capability of hitting the United States with a ballistic missile in 2035. Okay, 2035, let's see. This is now 2026. That's 9 years away. So we attacked Iran because 9 years from now, they're going to have missiles capable of hitting the United States. Is that the explanation? Or is it this explanation?
If we didn't hit within 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon. If we didn't do the B-2 attack a number of months ago, they would have a nuclear weapon.
Okay, so we went to war because they were 2 weeks away from having a nuclear bomb. Well, apart from the fact there is absolutely no intelligence of any kind to suggest that Iran was 2 weeks away from having the bomb, this is what Donald Trump had to say about our last attack on Iran back in June of last year. Here he is.
Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Okay, so if they were obliterated in June of last year, how are they suddenly 2 weeks away from having the bomb?
But here's the beautiful part. The part that shows the sheer dignity and strategic intelligence of the Iranian resistance. The head of Iran's Parliament National Security Committee, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf denied any negotiations and mocking Trump's delusional fantasies.
همراهی و پشتیبانی از این مردم استقامت در میدان و ادامه راه امام شهید عزیزمون هست و باید با هماهنگی وحدت و انسجام همه ارکان نظام اسلامی این مسیر توفنده انقلاب اسلامی رو ادامه بدن.
آیا خبری از آتشبس هست؟
تا الان هیچ ما تا تنبیه متجاوز به هیچ وجه وارد میدان مذاکره آتشبس نخواهد شد. متجاوز باید تنبیه بشه، پشیمان بشه و برای همیشه از این منطقه خارج بشه.
Contrast that steel-spined defiance with the pathetic sight of the Trump administration trying to float back-channel negotiations. Reports surfaced that Iran's Ministry of Intelligence quietly reached out to the CIA through a third country to discuss terms. But the U.S., in their arrogance, dismissed it as not serious. And Trump, posturing for the cameras, said it was too late for talks. Too late? It was too late the moment you bombed a sovereign nation. And now you're in a position where pretty soon we are not going to know anybody to talk to because the military campaign is decapitating the leadership. You destroyed the very infrastructure you need to negotiate with. That's not strategy. That's stupidity. The Iranian position is clear. They have seen this movie before. They have been attacked in the midst of negotiations. They have been burned by American promises. They will not fall for another round of negotiation lies designed to give the U.S. military breathing room to resupply. They are advancing. They are destroying the ANFP-132 radar in Qatar. They are hitting the naval support ships. They are proving that the cost of hosting American bases is absolute destruction. The United States wanted to show that it could topple regimes. Instead, they have shown that they cannot even protect a base in Saudi Arabia. They have shown that their air defense systems are depleted, running out of interceptor missiles at an unprecedented rate, with supplies possibly running out within days. So, as we watch these events unfold, understand the gravity of the moment. The superpower is naked. The puppets in the Gulf are realizing that their American strings are made of flammable material. And Iran, with surgical precision and unwavering resolve, is lighting the match. The call for a ceasefire from Washington is a plea from the weak. And from Tehran, the response is a resounding historic refusal. The aggressor must be defeated. And defeat has never looked so inevitable.